What's going on, people? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Big shout out to my doggy, King Ease, for coming through and boosting up the coin. So, we got some breaking news for you, man, right now, regarding Tyson, Fury, and Alexander Usyk rematch. In fact, I'm confused here. Why have they got? Oh my god. They've got Tyson Fury as the headline still. Fury versus Usyk rematch. Wow. And in fact, let me see if I can find the official thing from his turbulency. Let's go on Turkey. Turkey Alal Shik. Instagram. And the reason this is relevant is I'm trying to find, someone's told me, and in fact you can see it yourself, the title is Fury versus Usyk rematch. I'm hearing it's being billed. I guess it don't matter, but it's just disrespectful. Yeah? It's disrespectful. Here we go. Oh no, fair play. That was cap. It's Usyk versus Fury reignited. So fair play to Turkey. We've got the leak here anyway. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh man. The Riyadh season is falling off bad. Yeah, the Riyadh season is falling off bad. It's just the quality of the cards. This card is a generic boxing card, folks. You can find this card anywhere. Top Rank, Eddie Hearns, whoever you want. Frank Warren. We've had these type of cards. Do you understand? People, let's leave it here. I'll just tell you the co-main and then we'll cut this video right now for you, man. The co-main of Usyk vs Fury 2, December 21st, is Serhey Bochuk versus Madrimov. That's the co-main, yeah? That's the co-main. Alright, I'll catch you, man, tomorrow. Come on. Yeah? What I don't understand is, from what I understand, the Riyadh season is supposed to be from October to February or April, something like that. It was a 6-month period or X amount of month period. It's supposed to start in October, and it's supposed to end in whenever it's supposed to end. It's not supposed to be a year. It's supposed to be a season, like a football season, like a NFL season, like a hockey season, whatever games you into. The basketball player season, a rugby season. A season ain't a year, is it? So a season is normally around 6 months. Let's call it 6 months. That's when you should be doing the cards. For me, the Riyadh situation is supposed to be primo. Yeah? DAZN and Eddie Hearns and Frank Warren, they've got their moody stables still. That's where these fights belong. I like Bochuk. He should really be rematching Ortiz though, but maybe that's not in his control. I think Ortiz probably cacked his pants. Either way, Bochuk, I don't want to see Madrimov no more. He was boring. I don't want to see him no more. You had your shot. And unlike Crawford, you might know my opinion, I'm not best pleased with Crawford. I'm not best pleased, that was whack. However, Crawford's done enough where you can say, okay, give him another chance. But Madrimov, that was your big 6-1 headline show and you flaffed it. Didn't do nothing in there. He was just posturing and scared to pull the trigger. So get Madrimov out of here. He needs to be back on the regular leagues. He needs to be on the Matchroom Fight Night cards. That's what he needs to be headlining now. Don't tell me Madrimov is on the co-main. Like, what's going on here, people? And it's been a gradual kind of fall off. It has been a gradual fall off. If you look at look at the June card. The June card was supposed to be Beterbiev Bival, Zhang Wilder, who else? Hrgovic Dubois, Nick Bull versus Ford, and they was all bangers. Someone else was in there as well. Craig Richards versus Willie. They was all bangers in there. They ended up all bangers, right? Then we had the August card. Crawford Madrimov. Miller versus Ruiz, Bacoli versus Anderson, and there was probably another one in there. Those are solid cards. Then we moved to September, which I wasn't best pleased with on paper, if I'm honest. Who did we have? We had AJ, Dubois, Wicked. Then what did we have? That's the problem. People, it was 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I can't even tell you who was on the card. Josh Kelly versus Liam Smith might have been better, but ultimately that was whack. Josh Kelly's fight was. We had Josh Warrington, okay. Josh Warrington versus dude. I like the other dude. I forgot his name now, but I liked him, but whatever. Yeah? I can't even think who headlined that. Who was the co-main? I hate to break it to you, man. I'm going to have to look up Joshua versus Dubois card. And let's also get up this October card. October... Bival... Oh, that's wrong. Beterbiev versus Bival card. Because the point I'm trying to make is, think about all the other cards. June, banging. August, banging. And then we got the September one. Let's find the September one now. Full fight card, here we go. So I can't even remember. I really can't remember who was co-main. But that's not the point. These things, they're supposed to be... Listen, for me, the 5v5, that was just too much, if I'm honest. If I'm honest, you don't need that many bangers, man. You need 2 or 3 solid fights. Because I was sat there for 6 hours. My eyes was tired. By the time we got... And that was, bear in mind, yeah, the 5v5 was missing Beterbiev versus Bival. That was supposed to be on the top. So the June one, that was too much. That's greedy. For me to expect the June type of card whenever they plan to do it, that is greedy. But 2 or 3 solid bangers for a Riyadh season event, that's the bare minimum here. That should be the bare minimum. What's the point bothering? We've got generic boxing. We've had that for 20 years of a big headline fight and a bunch of bums. They're not bums, but there's not interesting, not intriguing fights. I'd rather have Bochuk versus Ortiz. And even then, guess what? Bochuk versus Ortiz is not a co-main on a Fury versus Usyk card. Yeah? It's not even big in the States like that, right? A Fury Usyk undercard, it needs to have a banger in there. Let me think of an example. I don't know. Zhang versus Bakoli. Or Ajit, for example. Ajit Caballel has just been ordered to fight Bakoli. Put that in there, man. Let's get the big Congolese bull on that show. Start boosting him up. Why would you give premium clout of a Usyk versus Fury card and not have another heavyweight on there to set the scene, right? That's the whole point of scene setting. You set the scene. Okay, we got Fury versus Usyk, and then Bakoli, potentially. I like Caballel, I'm not writing him off, but either way, maybe Caballel knocks Bakoli out. Whoever, you've kind of... That's what AJ came up under Carl Froch, essentially. AJ fought on the Carl Froch Wembley undercard. And then AJ, he put... everyone wanted to be on the Carl Froch Wembley George Groves undercard, right? And when AJ came along himself in his own right, everyone wants to be on the undercard because it builds you. What are we building here with Sergey Bochuk and Madrimov as the co-main? Who are we building there? Who want to watch that rubbish? That should be, honestly, Sergey Bochuk versus Israel Madridov should be in the bottom half, / just after the starter show. That's where you should have flung that fight on there. It's never a co-main on a Usyk versus Fury fight. And like I was saying, let's look at the fight card now. So here we go. That's why I forgot what it was. Yeah? People be under no illusion here. I think Turkey's got the right idea. Well, there's one of two things going on here. Yeah? Either number one, often when you look at how new businesses, what's the word I'm looking for? When new businesses launch, they come in and they undercut. So Turkey's come in, he's cut into the market, he's overpaying and he's delivering this great value. But ultimately, what ends up happening, they end up with all this kind of monopoly power and then they drop the quality of the show and increase the price. That's standard, right? I work at a gym and there's some kind of pure gyms come in basically 100 metres from us. So it's kind of like pure gyms and they come in, we're charging £25 a month, they're charging 15. They come in cheap and then they increase the price or whatever. I see what I'm trying to say. It's not, that's what they do and that's how it's looking to me potentially. Yeah, Turkey's come in, he's got all the hype around him, he's got the 30 million Twitter followers now, and then we're getting this shoddy B-level type thing. No. Yeah, save that B-level stuff. ESPN and Top Rank, they've still got their own, and DAZN and Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren and BT, they've still got their own platforms. These kind of fights, yeah, honestly, Hamza Shiraz and Tyler Denny, that should have been on ESPN card / Box Nation card / BT card. Slash the zone card. That one, pick one of them ones, put it on there, man. I like Hamza Shiraz. In fact, I got a video coming soon. Hamza Shiraz is scheduled to fight for a unified championship in his next fight. He's been ordered to. I think he'll win that. I'll bet on him to win that fight. I'm doing a video on that later this week or maybe even today. So I'm not a hater of Shiraz, but in my mind, if I was running the management of this thing, it would be pure, for example, Hamza Shiraz versus that unified fight he's been ordered to have. That is on a Riyadh season card, no doubt. Yeah. Tyler Denny, British level type dude. I've seen Hamza versus them man already on a Saudi show. So it's the Saudi shows now. The Riyadh season's becoming the bum of the month season. I hate to say it, it really is becoming the bum of the month. Like all other shows, all other people. Since time began, all other shows have had a big main event, and the rest are just crap fights you're not interested in. So we got Tyler. So on the AJ card, the August card was wicked with Crawford Madrimov. That card solid. That represents Riyadh season. Yeah. The June one solid, represents Riyadh season. Maybe too solid, because I did say that when you have such dense cards, inevitably fighter turnover is no higher than once every 6 months in general. The average fighter turnover is every 6 months. So you can't put 5 solid fights on there, cram them all into one event, because then all your fighters are bashed up in 2 months. 2 or 3 banging fights should be the prerequisite for a Riyadh show. And then the weaker fights should be things like Tyler Denny versus Hamza Shiraz should never be co-main. That should be like the fight you start with, or the second in fight. Yeah, Kakachi Warrington again. That shouldn't be top half of the card. That should have been one of the starting 2 fights. Josh Kelly and whoever it was, fine. Buatsi versus Hutchinson, that was solid. To be fair, that should have been. That is where it was. Buatsi versus Hutchinson, I can justify that. Hutchinson did well against Richards. That was solid. And Mark Chamberlain versus Josh Padley, whatever. The point is, when you look at June and August cards and you compare it to this, there's not one other person apart from AJ and Dubois who have any stake in it, right? There's not one other matching fight in there that's relevant. And now we move to the Bival versus Beterbiev card, which we've got Beterbiev versus Bival, which is banging. And I said this at the time. Unfortunately, man, this is bugging, man. Don't save that. So we got Beterbiev versus Bival, and then we got Chris Eubank versus a random dude. Chris Eubank's like a 15-1 favourite. Go away, I don't want to talk to you. Hard to stop this moody ass operation. Ciao. Bye-bye. What are you doing still hanging around for? I've just zapped it. I've just zapped it with Task Manager. How is that one? Bye. You out of here. See ya. I hate when Windows play like that, you know. I hate when Windows play like that. I click X and it's still hanging around. Oops. I'll just pull up the Control-Alt-Delete on your ass. You know what? 100%. No doubt about that one. Anyway, we got the Beterbiev versus Bival card. Eubank versus Scarametta. Who want to watch that as a co-main? Who wanna? Is it Riyadh season or is it bum of the month? Any other show in the last 15 years season? Because at the moment, with this Fury versus Usyk card, which I haven't even got to because there's no point. That's the truth. You man came here to say, oh YB, the Fury versus Usyk December 21st card is out. Tell us all about it. There's nothing to tell you. You've heard it with the title name, with the Usyk versus Fury 2. That's all you need to know about the card. It's full of bums. Random ass fights that should be warm-up fights. Bochuk, I like Bochuk, but the fact is, Bochuk versus Madrimov should be the first on the card or the second on the card. Fact. It should. That's where it should be. It should never be a co-main in Usyk versus Fury 2. And I'm sorry, a lot of the TalkSport / Eddie Hearn homosexuals, they say things like, fans are not being grateful. Who here heard me complaining about June? Who here heard me complaining about August? I was sucking Turkey off for June and August. That's how it's supposed. It's something different and something new and something electric. I'm not a hater, but this is whack. Who here foresaw, with all the talent out there, I'd rather see Hrgovic versus Andy Ruiz. as a co-main. I would. I'm sorry. I'd rather see Hrgovic versus Jarrell Miller or someone like that as a co-main. I just would. Fact. Them man haven't fought since August. I guess that's not... So what, you got August, September, October, November, December, only 4 months. Have you got the bag or not? Yeah? Hrgovic hasn't fought since June, so he's had 6 months. Get his ass back in there, man. I'd rather see something that's a heavy... Traditionally, big heavy... This is the biggest fight in the world. It should have another heavyweight on there. Right? It should have another interesting heavyweight fight on there. Instead, we've got Madrimov and Bochuk. I'm not impressed with Madrimov. Bochuk went life and death with Ortiz. The real fight should have been Bochuk versus Ortiz too, but whatever. This is crap. This shouldn't... And then you got the second in command fight. You've got Moses Atalma versus Dempsey McKean. Oh my God, people. I don't really watch Moses because he ain't done nothing for me yet. But people, you've got Moses Atalma versus Dempsey McKean. And then you've got Johnny Barsh Fisher versus Dave Allen. People, this is a copper box card. Yeah? The whole point of Turkey was supposed to be, don't forget people, yeah? Eddie Hearn, after Johnny Fisher had a go on Alan the Cabbage Savage. Yeah, Alan the Cabbage Babbage. Alan, after Johnny Barsh. People, listen. Listen for a second. Because you man slow and pissing me off. Yeah? After Johnny Barsh had a go on Alan the Cabbage Babbage. Eddie Hearn came out and said, yeah. Whoop-de-whoop. Oh man, talking about how we want Fraser Clark and we want Fabio Wardley for a belt, for the British belt. Fine. I didn't believe it. I like Dave Allen. I'm happy he's getting paid a little piece of bread. So I'm not knocking it against Dave Allen, but Dave Allen needs to do something, man. I'd rather, bear in mind, where's Joe Joyce at, man? Get Johnny Fisher in there with a washed up Joe Joyce. Get Johnny Fisher in there with a washed up Derek Chisora. That's what, if you're going to talk about Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clark, that's what should have been there. Not Dave Allen. Dave Allen's done nothing. At least if Johnny Fisher beats Joe Joyce, it's like, okay, Joyce is a bit washed up, but he's still done things. Dave Allen, all he's done is been given opportunities and not turn up. And every time, Dave Allen's a bit like AJ. Every time you have to believe it's going to be different this time. Oh, he's training now. And every time he says he's training now, after the fight he says, oh, I wasn't training. A year later, Dave Allen does a video on YouTube saying, well, actually, I didn't train for that fight. My head wasn't in it. It's like, bro, I've heard that since 2015. 10 years I've been hearing how Dave Allen's head wasn't in it. Or how he's still learning from life. That's cool, but he needs to do something else. Yeah? Dave Allen should have been on somewhere else, another card. Do something, man. Let's think of a name Dave Allen could punch up. Who's completely washed? I don't know, but that's for someone else. I'll people, listen. I'll give you a good example. Dave Allen and Alan the Cabbage Babbage, right? Babbage is shot. Dave Allen, there's still massive question marks. So get them two. Them two should have been, you know what? For a Fury versus Usyk 2 undercard, I'd have put Allen versus Babbage as the get rid of Isaac Lowe and Lee McGregor. Obviously, Isaac Lowe's been put on because of Tyson Fury, but if this is about purely sport, forget about Isaac Lowe and Lee McGregor. Just get them out of here. It should have been Dave Allen versus Alan the Savage Babbage, the Cabbage Babbage. Yeah? And then the winner of that maybe gets Johnny Fisher. And the winner of that maybe gets a Moses Atalma. But better yet, since it is a fight of the year type of shtick, card of the year type of shtick, how have we got Moses Atalma and Johnny Fisher on the same card fighting bums? The whole point of Riyadh season is, okay, we're going to pay big money and get fights we're interested in. Put Johnny Fisher straight in there with Moses right now. Put him in there right now. You were saying you want Fabio Wardley. Now some people will say Moses Atalma's the real deal and he's better than Fabio Wardley, but at this point he ain't done nothing. Neither has the Romford Bull. So get them two in there. Let's work things out now. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point in this game? It's just become, like all the other years, for the last 20 years at least, where you fight bums, And then maybe in 10 years' time, when Johnny Fisher's 31, he might fight someone decent. That's what's coming with Johnny Fisher. And same with Moses. They fight a bunch of bums for years on end. We keep hearing about how good they are. They end up in a real fight and they can't take a shot or don't want to fight. That's what happens. That's why I don't want to see it no more. I'm not interested. So fair play to Fabio Wardley and Fraser Clark, because at least they got there somewhat quickly. They got to the point. Yeah? They cut to the chase. Let's see how many fights Fabio Wardley's had. Because Fabio Wardley, to be fair, Fabio Wardley fought Adele last year, I think it was. And that really, Wardley versus Adele is no different to Johnny Fisher versus Moses Atama. It was two up-and-coming guys who were supposed to be up next. What's his name again? Fabio Wardley, box rec. So Fabio Wardley fights Adele, which is a similar fight to Atama and the Romford Bull. And then Wardley fights Clark, which again... That if you're telling me the Romford Bull versus Atama isn't similar to Wardley versus Clark, you bugging. So why does everyone else have to do the work? Yeah? Yeah, he fought Adele last year. So he'd have been, 16 fights in his 16th fight. Now I need to check how many Fraser Clark had. So Wardley's had 16 fights. Fraser Clark's had 9 fights. How many is Romford Bull? I keep forgetting his name. Completely forgetting his name. I'm bugging. Johnny Fisher. View Fisher. Box rec. Here we go, people. Johnny Fisher has more fights than Fraser Clark, and really not that many less. Fabio Wardley fought Adele at 16 fights. But Wardley was actually wanted that fight earlier, about 6 months, a year earlier. So we're talking 15 fights in. Fisher's 12 fights in. What's the difference here? Yeah? Fraser Clark's 8 fights in. You can say he's got a whole amateur background, but ultimately, are you ready to fight or not? Because for all the amateur background, he didn't beat Wardley. So it shows all that experience rubbish. You're either ready to fight or you're not, man. I believe. Once you've been doing this game 7, 10 years, you come on now. One thing we know for sure, you're not learning nothing from teeing off in one round against the Babbage. Yeah? You're not learning nothing by teeing off on washed up Dave Allen. That's what you're not learning nothing from. I can guarantee you that right now for free. Learn what? Look at AJ. You go in there and bowl all these bums out. What's really valuable, like Dubois learned and he showed, you can look at... Dubois is really the best example of this. Dubois was great at going in there and bowling a bunch of bums over. He gets in there in front of Joe Joyce, oops. He gets in there in front of Usyk, oops. What's valuable is learning how to fight. The psychology of it and the physicality of it. That's switching your mind. That's the only thing that carries weight. Slapping bums about. How many bums did AJ slap about? Until he got popped in the mouth and it completely broke him. So the quicker these fighters lose/learn that they either want to fight or not, the better for their career and the better for the fans. I don't want to see Moses Atama punch a bunch of bums up for another 10 years. That's what they'll be saying. OYB, Moses Atama only had 8 fights, so he needs to have 20, 30 fights like Deontay Wilder, which takes about 20 years because they're fighting once every 6 months. So when Moses Atama's, in 10 years' time, YB, when Moses Atama's 40 years old, he'll start fighting because he's still learning. No! Get in there now! Get in there now! Fury versus Usyk 2, Atama versus the Romford Bull should have been ordained. What's the point being the big turkey? What's the point everyone calling you his turculency? If you ain't going to make the fight... Who here want to watch, people? You tell me this. If I'm a hater, yeah? Who here want to watch Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen? Now, I'm not going to lie. Will I watch it? Yes, but it's more of a... It's like when you watch murder documentaries and you think, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing the CCTV of that. That's what it's like. It's not really I want to see it. There's no intrigue there. It's like a car crash. It's car crash porn. That's what that is. And Atama versus Dempsey McKean, not interested whatsoever. I'll watch it because it's on the card, but I'm not interested. Riyadh season's become the bum of the month season. That is the bottom line. I didn't want it to be the case. I told you the warning signs after the September cards and the October cards started getting announced. These ones here, this was it's getting weaker and weaker is the point I'm making. June was the strongest. August was a little bit weaker than that, but still solid. September, weaker than August. And then you got the October one, which is... Where's the October one gone? You got the October one, which is Beterbiev and Bival, and then Eubank versus Karametovsky as the co-main. Who want to watch that as a co-main on a Riyadh season official show? Yeah? Who want to watch that? That's not even the right one because Cordine has been taken off. Cordine has been taken off. Oh, here's the official one now then. So you've got Beterbiev, Bival, Wardley, Clark 2. Good. That's solid. That deserves to be there. Eubank versus Scarametta? No. Camera versus Whitaker. Again, that's where it should be. But the point is, Beterbiev and Bival, Wardley, Clark. Okay, that's actually not bad. You got 2 fights that are worth something there. That's not bad. That makes the cut. That's like the entry level. This should be an entry level Saudi card. The bare bones. This is really a minimum I've got here. This is a minimum requirement. Why? These two don't have no name. Like I said, it's missing like a Hrgovic and a Joe Parker. Something like it's missing that for me. That's what it's missing. I'm just thinking on the spot here. Or Jarrell Miller versus a Hrgovic. It's missing that kind of thing. Because this is British level. Right? This is British level. I like these. I like the Eubank versus Skarametsky. Come on. That's your co-main / number 1 or 2. Come on. Then you go to this card. So it's getting weaker, people. Fact. The September card is stronger than that October card. Maybe. It's about the same, to be fair. The September card's weak. The October card's weak. Now, I'm not saying Beterbiev versus Bival is great. Fury versus Usyk is great. I'm just pointing out this is not a Riyadh season. Yeah? Bochuk versus Madrimov co-main is not Riyadh season. Italma versus Dempsey McKean, not a Riyadh season. Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen is Copper Box. York Hall. That's what it is. It's York Hall standard. Stop playing. How many York Hall shows do you need to watch here to know Dave Allen versus Johnny Fisher has the York Hall written all over it, people? Are you slow? What are you not getting here? It's not a Saudi Riyadh, get all the lights out and bring all the birds out, all the pretty birds in their shoes and whatnot. It's not that one. It's not. And Isaac Lowe versus Conor McGregor's cousin. Come on. Painful. I'm disappointed. I really am. And I warned of this. Turkey, man, you need me on the squad. Because what's happening to Turkey is the promoters are treating you like a Christmas turkey. Yeah? I believe Turkey came into this with the best intentions. He probably planned, I think you can see it. Because he did Francis Ngannou versus Fury. He had like 2 shows planned for this season. But then once the promoters realise, hey man, what's the point me taking risk? Right? What's the point me paying Johnny Fisher and Dave Allen, call it 500 grand, when I can get in Turkey's ear and he'll pay us 2 million for it and I haven't got to take no risk and haven't got to organise nothing, I'll just sit back and collect coins. So I believe the promoters are pushing for Turkey to do a show every week because it's better for them, right? They can get all their bums on there. Look, for example, they can get all their Peter McGrail. Listen, they're not bums. I don't know these guys from Adam, and I'm happy they're making money here. But from a kind of selfish fans' point of view, Fury, come on, man. Dennis McCann and Peter McGrail, whoever they are, they could be on a York Hall / Copper Box, even an O2 card. Put them on one of them ones, on one of the in-house fight of the night. What do they call it? Them Friday night boxing shows. Yeah, the Channel 5 Friday night boxing. That's where that can go for damn sure, right? This is the premiere of boxing. This is the Super Bowl. At the Super Bowl, you don't have Dennis McCann and Peter McGrail. And I'm happy for them that they're making money. I'm not hating on. But come on now, you've got to be a bit realistic here. Yeah, this is a Champions League final. It's not Dennis McCann and Dave Allen, Johnny Fisher and Moses Talma versus Dempsey McKean. It's not that. And Turkey don't realise these cats like Spencer Brown, they're taking percentages. So the incentives here are not aligned. You have a principal agent problem here. Do you understand? Turkey's got the bag. All the people advising them they're incentivized not to make the best shows or do what's best for the brand of Riyadh season is a brand. That brand is supposed to signify, in my opinion, when you hear Riyadh season, you got to be there or be square. Yeah, you got to have a semi-long. Just at the sheer mention of Riyadh season, you got to be semi-long from that. If you're not semi-long, I'm not semi-long for this. This is generic. You can find this one anywhere, people. This is generic brand boxing. It is. For years we've had AJ. I think some of the old AJ kind of cards when he was on, they're better than this anyway, if I'm honest. They are. AJ wasn't having Bochuk, and he probably was actually. He was that kind of level. They're similar. The old AJ cards at Wembley are similar to this. No good. You're average. It's fine. If Turkey wants Riyadh seasons to become just another boxing event with a bunch of bums and a big main card, then carry on. Yeah? Riyadh season, like I said months ago, there should be maybe no more than 4 events a year. If he's doing it on a yearly calendar, which is looking like the case, because there is no season, right? He did, March, June, August, October, December. So he's doing the whole year. Forget about the season. It's fine to have a season for the whole year, but it should be quarterly. It should be, for example, March, July or June, September, October, December, January. That is the cycle you're in. Where you have 3 or 4, you could do it quarterly or 4 monthly, or thirdly, essentially. Quarterly or thirdly, 3 or 4 cards that are dense, where you've got 3, 4, 5 bangers, which you can do on a 3-month rolling, because there's enough healing time. You can essentially have your big stars. Well, you can split the stars up, right? You might have AJ on one card in March, and then Fury on a June card, and then AJ's ready again for the September. Obviously, AJ isn't as big as he used to be, but you get the point I'm making. You can split your stars. Your stars are, you have the turnover works out. When you're doing cards every month or every other month, it's impossible. You're going to run out of interest in fights because they're just fought. You're burning through your stock of athletes too quickly. And it ends up like this. What's happened is, at the start of the year, Turkey burnt through all of his talent with the March, the June. Sorry, it's not even just June, is it? It's March, May, June. Because we had Fury Usyk in there. I forgot about that. We've got the March, May, June, August, September, October. It's damn near every month. So it's impossible. There's never going to be enough quality to do a banging card every month. The numbers are just impossible. So that's what's happened. In 6 months, Turkey's had a big fight card every month, more or less. And it's burnt through all of his stock. And now everyone's fought and they need 6 months rest. And you end up with a lull. And to be fair, that's fine. It's fine to have a 6-month buzz if you condense it. But the last season started in October with Fury and Ngannou, whenever it was. So you've done a whole year of every other month or every month fighters. And you burnt through them all. And now you've got your big card coming up. And you got Moses, you got Bochuk and Madrimov as your co-main. So you need to bring Turkey. Let me tell you now. I'll tell you straight. I'm not going to suck your ass like the rest of these kind of. I'll work for free on principle. For what's right for the sport. That's what I'll do for free. I'll tell you what fights to put on. I'll tell you right now. If Turkey's supposed to be the guy, it's been alleged. Oh, Turkey comes along. He's not interested in paying for bum fights. That was the narrative, right? He's not just going to pay for any old cod's wallop. He will pay over the odds for a banging fight. Well, Turkey, over the odds would be, Bosh, I want Johnny Fisher and Moses Atalma. Yeah, that's over the odds. Moses Atalma, I'll pay you $3 million right now today. Johnny Fisher, I'll pay you $3 million right now today to fuck Moses Atalma. That is what it's supposed to represent. Not Atalma versus Dempsey McKean and Johnny Fisher versus Dave Allen. Yeah? Atalma versus Fisher, that would be... I wouldn't mind that being a co-main, to be honest. Atalma versus Fisher has the intrigue, 2 undefeated young bulls, to be on the undercard, to be on the co-main of Fury versus Usyk. I'd take that. Take that. Yeah? This other thing here, man, this is weak. It just is. Again, all the talk sport homosexuals will come out and say, no, this is people. Some people are hating, but I know this is the best thing since sliced bread. You bugging. It's what you're doing. You're bugging. You're delusional. The only fight of interest on this card. Know what I'm not. Oh, IB, you're a commentator. You like to be expressive. You like to have banter. Stop playing. The only fight I'm interested on this card is Usyk versus Fury. That's the truth. That's the only fight that actually carries any weight. There's no fight on this card that carries weight, even like Josh Buatsi. Where is the Josh Buatsi versus Hutchinson on this new card here? Where is it? Madrimov don't want to feed his faffing around against Crawford, so forget about him. Where is it? There's not even a Willie Hutchinson versus Joshua Buatsi. There's nothing on there. There's not even where's the people? Where is the Fraser Clark versus Fabio Wardley 2 on this card? They haven't even got them entry level kind of ones on here. Never mind the kind of, don't know. Like I said, never mind the Hrgovic versus Bakolis. What them man doing? What's Zhang doing? Where's Zhang and Parker 2? Where is Zhang and Parker 2? Where is it, folks? That should have been on this card. That's what I was expecting. I thought, oh bosh, worst case scenario, we're definitely going to get Zhang and Parker 2. Where'd it gone? Yeah, where's Bakoli? We've just seen Bakoli. Where's Bakoli? Where's Zhang? Where's Parker? Yeah? Where's Hrgovic? That will be over a 6-month cycle, 6.5 month cycle. From the start of June to the end of December is 6.5 months. So them man are all fresh. Wilder, Zhang, Hrgovic, Parker. Yeah? There's 4 to name a few. Where them man at? Them man should have been on this card. Is the bottom line here. Anyway, the card's whack, man. This Saudi thing fell off because Turkey ain't put me on, man. Put me on. I'll sort all this out. I'll get all them corny Frank Warren and Eddie Hearns in line. Yeah, because we ain't on this, man. We're not on Bum of the Month shows. I'll tell Eddie Hearns straight. Eddie, I like you as a person. I think you're quite gregarious. But the bottom line is, you can take your Bum of the Month shows to the York Hall and Copper Box. This is Riyadh season. And the YB, he's running things right now. So take Johnny Fisher and Dave Allen to the Copper Box. York Hall. That's what you can do. Come back when you want to make Johnny Fisher and a Talma. Until then, don't talk to me. Don't ring my phone, Eddie. Don't ring my phone talking about Johnny Fisher and Dave Allen on the Fury versus Usyk undercard. Don't bother. Yeah, let me know when you want to squabble. That's what it's supposed to be about. Yeah, it should be called Squabble Season. Saudi Squabble Season. All you're going to get is squabbles. Proper squabbles. Like Clark Wardley. Like Usyk Fury. Yeah? Like Bakoli Anderson. Like Ruiz Miller. That's all you're going to get. It's straight 50-50s from top to bottom. Not Bum of the Month shows. A Talma, Bum of the Month show. Johnny Fisher, Bum of the Month show. Chris Eubank versus Bum of the Month show. Who else you got on here? You gotta, come on now. Come on. Hamza Shiraz versus Bum of the Month show. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this one. People stop it.